0, the number that changed everything. Nothing that meant everything. Imagine a world without 0. No precise accounting. No modern science. No digital age. It is a symbol for nothing, yet it reshaped mathematics, philosophy, and how humanity understands reality itself. This is the story of 0, the most powerful idea ever written as a number. Part 1. Before 0 existed. For much of human history, numbers described quantity, not absence. Ancient civilizations counted sheep, grain, and land. They had symbols for 1, 10, and many, but not for nothing. The Romans, for example, built empires without 0. Their numerals could add and subtract, but complex calculation was nearly impossible. Mathematics was practical, not abstract. The idea that nothing could be treated as something meaningful had not yet arrived. Part 2. The problem of nothing. Absence is difficult to represent. How do you write that something is missing? How do you calculate with emptiness? Early societies avoided the problem by reorganizing counting systems. But without a placeholder, numbers became ambiguous. The difference between 21 and 201 could not be clearly expressed. This limitation quietly constrained mathematics, astronomy, and engineering. Progress waited for a conceptual breakthrough. Part 3. The placeholder revolution. The first major step toward 0 came through positional notation. In ancient Mesopotamia, scribes used empty spaces to indicate missing values. Later, the Maya developed a symbol resembling a shell to represent 0 in their calendar system. But these versions treated 0 as a placeholder, not as a number with its own properties. 0 still lacked identity. That identity would emerge elsewhere. Part 4. 0 becomes a number. Around the 7th century, mathematicians in India made a radical leap. They treated 0 not just as a symbol, but as a number that could be manipulated. The Indian mathematician Brahmagupta described rules for 0. A number minus itself equals 0. A 0 added to a number leaves it unchanged. For the first time, nothing obeyed laws. This transformed mathematics from counting objects to exploring abstract relationships. Part 5. Cultural resistance to nothing. Not everyone welcomed 0. In Europe, 0 arrived through Arabic scholars, whose works preserved and expanded Indian mathematics. Yet 0 was viewed with suspicion. It represented emptiness, the void, even philosophical danger. Some feared it undermined certainty. Others believed it enabled deception in accounting. In several regions, the use of 0 was restricted. An idea this powerful takes time to be accepted. Part 6. Why 0 changed mathematics. Once accepted, 0 unlocked entirely new fields. It made place value systems efficient and scalable. It enabled algebra, calculus, and negative numbers. Without 0, equations collapse. Limits cannot be defined. Coordinates lose meaning. 0 allowed mathematics to describe not only what exists but what could exist. Created space for abstraction. Part 7. 0 and human thought. 0 also changed how humans think. It forced philosophers to confront absence as a concept. It reframed emptiness as informative, not meaningless. In Eastern philosophy, emptiness had long been meaningful. In mathematics, 0 made that insight precise. Nothing became something that could be understood. Part 8. 0 in the modern world. Every digital device depends on 0. Binary code is built on two states, 0 and 1. Computers, satellites, encryption, and artificial intelligence all rely on the mathematical language 0 made possible. The modern world is not built on abundance, but on distinction. 0 defines boundaries. Part 9. What 0 still challenges. Despite its success, 0 continues to challenge intuition. Division by 0 remains undefined. 0 sits at the edge between positive and negative. It represents balance, but also instability. Even today, it resists full domestication. 0 reminds us that mathematics is not only about certainty, but about limits. The power of nothing. 0 is a symbol for absence. Yet without it, structure collapses. It teaches a quiet lesson. Sometimes the most transformative ideas are the ones that appear empty. If this documentary deepened your appreciation for the hidden power of ideas, consider liking the video and subscribing to Interesting MindHub for future explorations. Because even nothing can change everything.